Lesson 4 then, so we're moving now on to column subtraction, the method that, the full method rather than the expanded method we looked at yesterday. Like with the column addition, column subtraction is a little bit of a trick, so we like to know that you understand what's going on when we do it, but this might be the method that some of the adults might remember from school. Okay, so as per usual, we're going to go through the slides. We'll make sure that you can scroll back to these and use them if you need to when you're doing your own. But let's crack on. Okay, so column subtraction looks very similar in some ways to the expanded method, but it's just got the calculation on top of each other. So my calculation here is 87 minus 23. Okay, and all I do is I start with my units and I do 7 take away 3 gives me 4, and then I do 8 take away 2 equals 6, and my answer is then 64. Okay, but we know from our expanded method that we're actually doing 7 take away 3 and then we're doing 80 take away 20. But like I say, the column subtraction is a little bit of a trick, so we can do it a bit quicker. Okay, so if we move on to a slightly more difficult one, we do 75 take away 37. We set our numbers out, set out our biggest number on top, small number underneath. We start off with our units, 5 take away 7. We can't do 5 take away 7, so I've got to go and steal one. So I steal one from my tens column. So that's 7 there, which we know is actually 70, becomes 6, and we write it as 6 or 60, but we write it as 6 in column subtraction, the full method, and then we put our 1 here to turn that 5 into 15. So I've stolen 10 from there to turn that 5 into 15. I can do 15 take away 7, gives me 8. I can do 6 take away 3, gives me 3, so my answer is 38. Okay, so we can then go on to hundreds if we need to. Okay, so I've got 132 take away 56. 2 take away 6, I can't take, I've got 2, I can't take away 6, so I need to steal one. So I go to this 3 here, which I know is actually 30, and then I steal one, so that becomes a 2, and that then becomes, that 2 becomes then 12. 12 take away 6 is 6. Okay, now I've got a 2, which I can't take away. I can't take away 5, so I have to go into my hundreds column. I steal one from there, so that 12 take away 5 equals 7. But I know that that's actually 120 take away 50. However, for column subtraction, this is the method that we this is how we do it. So we do it as 12 take away 5, but we know that it's actually 120 take away 50, and that's why the expanded method is so important. So we know we're not just doing it. Anyone could do the trick, but it's knowing what's going on behind the trick to know what's going on properly. Okay, bigger subtraction now. We've got 723 take away 356. Again, I can't do 3 take away 6, so I've got to steal one. So I steal one from there and put my 1 there to turn that into 13. So 13 take away 6. Okay, I've got 2, which I've turned into a 1. The 1 take away 5 I can't do. So again, I've got to steal one. So I steal one from a hundreds column this time and write that as 11. Okay, even though it's 110, I know really. So 11 take away 5. Okay, gives me 6, and then my hundreds column 6 take away 3 is 3, and that gives me 367. So that is a column subtraction method. So that's what we're going to go and look at on the board now. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so now we're moving on to the big board, and we're up onto column subtraction, the full method. We looked at expanded method last time. So now we're on to the full method, column subtraction. Like I've mentioned a few times, column subtraction is a bit of a trick, really, because you can sometimes do the method without actually realising what's going on. You can do the basics, but that's why the expanded method is so important, because that really gives you the understanding. So let's look at a couple of calculations together. So let's start off with 58 take away 45. Okay, so 58 take away 45. I set it out just with the numbers on top of each other's lined up. So I've got 58 take away 45. Okay, I start with my units. Go down my units first. 8 take away 5. I can either do that in my head, or I can 5, 6, 7, 8, use my fingers. is 3. 5 take away 4 gives me 1. So that answer to that calculation is 13. Really quick, really straightforward, that one. I'm going to look at one underneath which is a little bit more tricky. So this time we're going to do 153 take away 38. Okay, so 153 take away 38. Set it out in exactly the same way. You can see when I'm setting them out, it's really important that you line your numbers up in your columns. I've got my units, I've got my tens, I've got my hundreds, and it really makes it a lot easier, especially when you get onto more tricky ones, if you've given yourself a bit of space to work with around and you can really see the numbers. If you do tidgy ones, all bunched up, it can get a little bit confusing. So 3 take away 8, so instantly here I hit a bit of a problem because I can't do 3 take away 8. Now in the expanded method yesterday, I went and stole from next door, which is what I'm going to do again. So I'm going to steal from my tens. So that 5 is going to become a 4, and that is going to become 13. So I can do 13 take away 8. I know that's going to give me 5. The expanded method yesterday, we saw the numbers in full. But now, because we're using column subtraction, the full method, it's a bit more of a trick. So 4 take away 3 is 1. 1 take away nothing is 1. Answer to my calculation is 115. The reason I call it a trick is because we're doing numbers here. We know these numbers are actually 40 and 30 and 100, but we deal with them like their value, with what they look like, 4 take away 3. When really we know, because we've done the expanded method, that it's 40 take away 30. So let's have a look at a couple more together. Like I said yesterday, roll your dice to generate your numbers. I'm out of helpers at the moment, so I'm making my numbers up as I go. So let's go with, let's do 3-digit take away 3-digit. So maybe you roll a 4, a 5 and a 2, and a 5, a 6 and a 1. So I've got 452, 561. I've rolled my dice 6 times to generate those numbers. What I need to do, I need to remember to do, is I need to swap those around. So my calculation is 561, take away 452. If I don't do that, the method won't work. So you need to make sure you've got your biggest number first. 561 take away 452. Okay, looks like a good one, this one. So I set it out in my normal way. 561, 452. Give myself plenty of space because I might need to steal, and it then can get a little bit confusing. So my first bit, 1 take away 2. Instantly I can't do that, so I need to go steal one from next door. The reason I say steal is because we don't give it back. It doesn't go back into that column. So that 6 then becomes a 5, is how we write it. But we know in our heads that it's actually 50, because that's then going to become 10 more, which is then 11. 11 take away 2 is 9. 5 take away 5 is 0. And then 5 take away 4 is 1. 109. Straightforward as that. Let's do one more together. So let's do one that's going to involve a bit of a challenge. So let's do 1,047 take away 372. 1,047 take away 372. So let's set it out like we always do. 1,047, 1,047, 372. 7 take away 2, I can do that, no problem at all. 5. 4 take away 7. Can't do that. Need to go and steal one, but I instantly hit a problem because I've got a 0 here. So I can't steal from 0, I can't make it any less. So I can't steal. So what do I have to do? Well, what I have to do is I have to go into the next column and steal from there. But I can't steal and jump from that column straight back to this column. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to steal from that, and that's going to become 0. And then I'm going to turn this into 10 for the time being. Now that that's 10, I can steal from it. Now we know in our heads that that's actually 100, and we're stealing hundreds here, but that 10 can then become 9, and that can then become 14, or actually 140 because we're in our tens column, but because of column subtraction method, we're calling it 14. 14 take away 7 is 7, and then we use this 9 take away 3 is 6. We've stolen from there, so that's 0. That's 0, so it doesn't mean anything. So 675 is my answer. Okay, so if you can't steal from the column next to it, you can steal from that, but you have to backtrack like we have just done there. A little bit confusing that sometimes, but just wanted to show you that because I didn't want you to roll numbers and then think, oh, I can't steal from there. Can't steal from there, there's nothing to steal from. Okay, so column subtraction, the main method, we're dealing with numbers that we've looked at in the expanded method, but this time we deal with them as they are. So even though that number there is 500, we know it's 500 because it's 561, we deal with it as a 5 because it is a bit of a trick. Okay, but because we've done the other things, we've got the understanding, so we can do it. Alright, so that's column subtraction. Tune in tomorrow, and what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to do a bit of column subtraction and addition, some reasoning problems, and some applying your knowledge. Alright, have a nice evening, catch you later.